Welcome back. You're watching SA Today with me, Unati Bagyashe. Well, today marks World Tourism Day. This day highlights the significance of tourism in fostering cultural exchange, as well as, of course, the day encourages people worldwide to explore the beauty and diversity of our planet while recognizing the responsibilities that come with it. Tourism not only allows us to discover, the new places, but also bridges cultural gaps, promotes peace and contributes significantly to local economies. Now, let's discuss this further. We're now joined via Teams by Tshifhiwa Tshivhengwa, CEO of Tourism Business Council for South Africa. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Now, 2 months ago, Stats SA reported close to 47% surge in foreign arrivals, which is good news. Just talk to us about how the industry is currently recovering and the strides made so far.
Well, thank you for having me, and good afternoon to your viewers. I think, the World Tourism Day, it's quite an important day for us in the tourism space. It's the day where we commemorate the work that we have done, within the tourism space. And of course, to really encourage people to travel, explore, where they live or far away. And it's important for us because tourism is a critical sector of the economy. It contributes to GDP as well as to employment. So it's quite important that, as we commemorate this day, we remember and we look back at what we have achieved. Of course, the numbers from what we've seen now are rather looking good. We can see that we are recovering. We can see that international tourists are coming into the country. The picture is quite different to what we used to see during COVID. It is getting brighter and brighter, and we want it to even shine as the number starts to pour in this festive season. So it's important that, we keep going, we keep the momentum. Domestic travel is key and has been the pillar of recovery, and we do hope that South Africans, despite all the challenges and everything that has to do with it, continues to travel the country, continue to support the tourism industry, and we are certainly ready from our side.
As you've mentioned, of course, the pandemic, as the sector recovers from COVID-19 restrictions, here at home, we're still battling, crippling rolling blackouts. Just talk to us about the impact that this has had on tourism and, of course, recovery efforts.
Well, the challenge of load shedding is quite severe for us. I've spoken to many establishments, from small B&Bs and guest houses to people that are running, small accommodation that are informal, and also the big groups, that are running accommodation that uses electricity heavily. That the input cost has increased. Running generators is costly. And we've seen this with, some of the results that we're seeing coming through when you check, on the expense line of the input cost and the diesel cost. So that has been a challenge, and it continues to be a challenge. And hence, the investment in green, energy, or what we call green tourism is quite key. And the investment that's been made by many companies are starting to yield some results, as many of them are able to sort of run partly some of their establishments with using green energy or using solar panels. So it's quite important that we, while we have these challenges, we in tourism cannot go and offer less experiences because we have these challenges. We have to continue. Despite the challenges, we have to offer the experiences despite the challenges, and we'll continue to do so. But from the input cost point of view, that has impacted us, and of course, it's going to impact the bottom line when many companies report.
You mentioned domestic tourism and how important that is for the sector. But there is also, this other element where, informal traders say that they still need a lot of support, and that they're not getting that there is too much red tape. How do you mitigate this so that, this industry flourishes, particularly in as far as informal traders are concerned?
Well, you make a very good point. Informal traders within the tourism space are quite huge. We're actually looking at conducting a study or partnering with, some of the people to conduct a study on evaluating, the informal side of tourism and its impact to the economy. And you're quite right. Those that are in the informal side of business, they usually get impacted heavier because the resilience from business continuity is low because of the nature of how they operate. And which is, the same as many other businesses across the board, or many other sectors across the board who have informal side of business. So for us, we do agree that there needs to be more support for the informal, tourism businesses. We need to figure out a way of supporting those businesses because they're an important part of the value chain. If you go to many destinations, like your Bangkok or your other parts of Thailand, be it Phuket, you will see that informal side of tourism, it's part of the value chain. Be it someone who's cooking food on the street, be it someone who's selling things on the street, it's an important part of tourism. And we've been saying, to everyone who's involved that, we need to form a chain whereby we can start to work together very closely. We can make sure that these informal traders are exposed, they are assisted, from the financial point of view, from business continuity point of view, and also we deregulate to make sure that they can enter into the system and be able to trade within the system. So looking at the regulations and the red tape is one of the things that we do frequently, and we will be looking at that from various aspects to make sure that the informal side comes to the formal side and we're able to trade with less regulation or regulation that enable the businesses to thrive.
Let's look at the long-term plans in as far as the whole value chain is concerned. I mean, there are a number of attractions South Africa is known for and loved for, its landscape, vibrancy, its rich history. What are your long-term plans, to strategically position the country? Also, just given the negative perceptions that are already starting to affect the image of South Africa.
Well, one of the good thing about our country is the fact that, we've got a lot of nature-based tourism, things that we never had to build, that were given to us, and people come here to enjoy. So we need to protect that. That's number one. We need to make sure that the biodiversity, the national parks that we have, the many other areas of tourism, ecotourism places, we protect everything from the ocean to the mountains, to the reserves that we have, to the biodiversity, the trees, the species that we have. I think it's quite critical that we continue to do that. And if we continue to do that, we should be able to preserve for the future generation, and we should stand a very good chance of offering something that's unique to the world because we have the sustainable tourism aspect into it. Yes, there will always be the challenges, and we spoke about the challenge of load shedding, which we do hope that is going to be short term. There's also challenges of safety and security, which we are dealing with from the private sector point of view. And there may be other things that may pose challenge when we go forward. That's why one of the things that we did is to develop a crisis management type of framework where we can say, should X happen, this is how we're going to respond to it, because we need to keep tourism going. So all the challenges that are there, short term or medium term, we believe that we can operate within these challenges while we're fixing them. We need to continue to do tourism and to protect the jobs that we have and create new ones.
Tshifhiwa Tshivhengwa, thank you so much for your time this afternoon, sir. I really appreciate it. And of course, he's the CEO of the Tourism Business Council of South Africa, as today marks Tourism Day. World Tourism Day, celebrated on the 27th of September.